Good evening. Today we will see about snake game. We will divide this game into two parts. There will be multiple steps involved in it. Uh, Today we will cover only first three steps, and maybe tomorrow we will cover the next three steps, maybe next three or four steps. So generally, what exactly we have uh, today what we will be doing is, for example, just I am showing. So here, when we click the arrow, the snake should move like this. Yeah. Like when I click up or down, so it will go out of canvas. Now it is no way to return, then we need to close it. So there are multiple steps involved in this. So for example, we need to create a snake body, and then we need to move the snake, and then we need to control the snake with the key presses from the user. These are the first three steps we will be coding today, and then tomorrow we will be coding uh, once we place the food on the canvas, and then when snake hit that food, it should grow, and we need to create a scoreboard how much food it eat. And when hit the wall, like for example now it goes out of the canvas, right? So but when we when the snake hit the wall or go out of the canvas, then game should end. Similarly, when the tail when snake detects collision with itself, then also the game should end. So it's like create snake body. So just we have representing in a nice graphical way. Now let's go to step one by one. So these are general generic steps. So we need to create a graphic screen, and then we need to uh, do all this. So just I will be showing. So let me just comment all this. So what will I will also comment this method. Yeah. So what we will be doing, we are creating an turtle canvas like screen, and we are importing two classes, screen class and turtle class. And as of now, we are not using this. I will say why we are using now generic way. So we need to create a screen object, and we are setting up the width to 600 by 600, like width by height. And similarly, what it has given screen title and background to black. So on created three title objects, put the title position where it resembles like a snake. So it's like we will be creating title objects, and generally the snake will be in a straight line, right? Similarly, we will be creating with the help of already we have a shape method. So similar when creating mm, a title object, we will define a square. You can define like shape equal to a square, or you can directly, if you give this argument, it will automatically create the square shape title object only. Now just what I am doing, so I am taking positions like the first position will be created at 0 0. So if you take a graph like uh, uh, the first title whatever it create, it will be at 0 0. So the second title also it will be at 0 0 will be created. But what we will be doing, we will say the title to go to the this position, like the second title what we created, and the third title it should go to -40 because every title is a 20 by 20 pixels size it will have. So that's why we will giving 0 0 minus 20 comma 0 and minus 40 comma 0. Now if I run this code, so if you see, so we have created a snake object with my snake game, and then the background is black, and then the title objects are white, and it is placed 0 0 minus 20 comma 0 and minus 40 comma 0. So this is the first step we are doing. So should should here. So just whatever the object we are created, we are storing it in a list segments. You can say all the segments will be stored inside this. So like all the title objects will be stored inside this. If we create three objects, we are creating three title objects and storing it inside the list. So so this is the main first part what we did. So it's like new segment we are creating title object and we are keeping it as color. If we haven't keep the pen up, so it will draw a line, so we should not we don't need that line to be drawn. That's why we are keeping pen up, and we are saying go to the position. So positions are these positions when looping, and then we are just appending whatever the created title object we are appending to this list. Similarly, now we have did all that. So we have created our snake object. Now is the main how we will be writing the move the snake automatically. So generally once we start it should move automatically. So for that we will be using two methods like tracer method and update method. So these are like animations when we do the animations. Uh, so yeah. So we want to like screen refresh, right? So animations are nothing but the refreshment of all the images or drawings in the title. If we say title, so it's like we can say how much a delay we need to give, or if you like. So yeah. So once it is done, so once we need to, if we want to refresh that, we are actually uh, offing this tracer, like giving a 0, then it will off. So then we will be updating the screen. So it's like uh, so whenever it is moving, the title object is moving, then generally the animation will be performed. Uh, but to moving that our title objects, we are not exactly doing. like the animations. So what we will be doing, we will be offing the tracer and then we will be updating the screen so that it is like it doesn't show it's like a animation thing, or I meant to say uh, if we give much delay, so it doesn't show like an I mean animations. So that's why we want it as an animation, and it goes on itself. That's why we'll be using update method like so. But this update method can be used only when this tracer is off. So we will be using both those methods. So now, for example, let's see how what we are doing. So now I am uncommenting this. This is the second method, like second step we can say. So now what we are doing, we are actually keeping now we need to move the snake object. So just but at which direction we should move, that we are defining. So we are keeping our the first head like whatever the first object created. So the index will start from 0. That should be the head of the snake. And then we are defining a distance how much it should move, like 20 pixels. So every time all the objects will move at 20 20 20 pixels, so that we can't see like uh, if we given more distance, it meant to be if we have given 30 pixels, we can see a different type of we will see the spaces when the turtle object moves, because every turtle object is 20 pixels by length. If we given more distance, so it's like we can't see all the three turtle objects what we created at uh, one time. So that's why we are giving only 20 pixels. Now what we are doing, we are defining a function move. In that we are giving just we are looping over a length of the segments, like okay. So length of the segments minus 1. So length of the segments is 3 minus 1 2 comma 0, and we are giving increment is like uh, if we give minus 1, so it is like decrease. So now we are getting the segment number like okay. Okay, and now once we get the segment number from the range like 0 to minus 1 is like uh, the back say I meant to say. Let's see. So once we get the range like number, then we are actually doing like minus 1. So uh, so for example, there is 0 1 0 1 comma 2. Then what we are doing is like all the turtle objects we are actually moving to backwards one step, so that it will go they will overlap without any distance. So that's the main agenda, like what we are doing. We are for each segment we are getting the coordinate of that like before that one. So it's like if it is 0 minus 1, so it will go to the my last I meant to say the last object. So and then the last object will the last turtle object in the segments, and then we are getting that last object x coordinate and that last object y coordinate, and we are moving that turtle object to the first wherever the this first object is there, we are moving that to that x coordinate and y coordinate positions. And then we are doing head to move forward. So this is the forward option what we have already seen, like to move turtle object how much distance. So this is a little bit tricky. So we are just moving the segments, every segment to not like to overlap one on each other, so that there so users don't uh, see any lag in the segments. So for example, if I run, so just I'm updating this comment. So generally when game is true, so the game will be true. Game is on, so it should run infinitely, and then just we are using update method. So it's like update method, and why we are using sleep, let's see. So if we don't use this sleep, and I am not using the tracer method to turn off also. Let's see how it behaves. So it's very fast, right? It's going very fastly. So even user cannot see the delay. So that's why what we are doing to use to see the user, we are giving some object some delay. So depending on this delay, we will be uh, seeing the speed of the snake. So for example, I am giving let's say 10 seconds. So it will be very slow. And the tracer method is like let's see what is the difference between tracer and update without the tracer, how it behaves. So it will wait for 10 seconds to move further. So very slow, right? So it we don't need this much slow. So that's why so every time the screen is refreshing, it is going into an not responding mode. Okay. So that's why we don't give very much delay. So just we will be giving 0.1, and if you want to increase the speed and depending on the levels going forward, you can change this the speed using this time dot sleep method. Just I am checking why the tracer, if we off the tracer and how it is behaving. So it's like if you see there is a little bit drag, right? So it's like it is showing the snake is moving something So one by one it is moving, right? But we are not we are not want to move something like that. We just move that total object as one thing. So that's why we'll be using a screen method, like a tracer method, to off. So if we given 0 means it will be off. So now if you see, there is no drag, just the snake is moving forward without any drag. So when we give, so it's like it is showing the animations, all the title objects is moving one after another. But when we again, so it's like all the title objects is going at a time. So that's what we need. So instead of going like all the title objects dragging one after another, we will be doing this one. So let's ignore this. It is some issue we will be fixing going forward. So this is the main, I mean to say, main part when we are defining all the critical objects to move together. So to get them without any spaces between them, we are using this segment to go to their coordinates accordingly, and then we are doing the move forward function. Now the next step is we need to the snake should listen to, like the objects, the title object should listen to the user key input. So if user is giving up arrow, it should move upwards. If user is giving down arrow, clicking down arrow, it should turn downwards. Left it should move left, and right it should move right. So what I did, now I'm implement all this. No, we already know last time what in Turtle a few demonstrations. So if we turn like set head 90 degrees, the Turtle object will move 90 degrees. So if it is down, the Turtle object move towards 270 degrees, and if it is left, that Turtle object will move 180 degrees. So we have seen already the head of the Turtle will move like when we see demonstrations. So similarly, I have taken like similar kind of stuff, like up equal to 90 or like down equal to 270, 180, and the right is like by default the turtle will face towards right only. So that's why it is like 0 degrees. So now what we are doing, we are defining functions like def up, down, left, and right. Now, but if we, so generally this will be enough, like so these are actually values which don't change. That's why we have taken in uh, like capital variables. So these are constant variables, we can say. So it's like we are setting the heading to up when user click up. Similarly, when user click down, it should set to down. Yeah. But why we are giving this heading, right? Because when the head of the it is down, and when we click to up, so it's not like the snake should go backwards, right? So if we don't give this one, let's see, for example, So I am just defining all this. But when I click up, how it will be here? Let's see. So let's so we are giving screen.listen method, and on clicking on which key, which function should trigger. So we are defining. So when we click on up arrow, the up should trigger. When click down arrow, the down function should trigger. So let's see. So just I am doing it down and up. It is like it is going back. If I so generally in snake game we should not do this, right? When we click uh, up arrow, it should, the snake should go, doesn't don't go back. It should not go back. It should always go in the forward direction only. So that's why what we did. We are giving this main where the head will be. So what is the position of the head? And then like we already seen this. The head dot heading. Head is the starting segment. Like there will be three segments, right? So we are defining the head as a starting segment, and using that starting segment we are getting the which direction it is. So until unless it is not equal to down, uh, we are okay to do the 90 degrees. Similarly, if it is again down arrow, if it is not equal to up, like if it is not at 90 degrees, then all other cases are fine. So because when we click again down, so it is like the snake will go backwards. Similarly, if it is a left, so when it is at right, and when we click left arrow, it should not go back. So that's why it should not when it is at right, then when we click left until then this function should trigger like this. I mean, the heading should not be equal to 0 degrees. The head. So when we start and when the user like when we start the game, the generally the snake will go in right direction only. When we click a left arrow, the snake should not go in the backward direction. So so that's why we are checking apart from this function, all other directions are fine. So similarly for right, we should not like the opposite directions. So it's like we are checking when we are clicking up, the snake should not be in the downward direction. So similarly, when we are clicking down, the snake should not be in the upward direction. Otherwise, the snake goes front and back. So now, screen dot listen is the method what we have used. So it will listen for the uh, key presses from the user, and when the user click on key, which key user has clicked in, like if I click up, so it will trigger the up function. Similarly, when I click the down arrow, it will trigger the down function, a left function, and right function. And I am calling to move method. Move. So move, we already defined this one. So this is only three steps what we are doing. So going forward inside this while loop, we will be doing different steps and keeping the food. So this is like a general to say like going in normal scripting style. So but what we need to do, we need to actually create it in 10 object oriented form. So it's like we need to create a class and then we need to using that class into the main file. If you so it's simple, and if we see the same steps what we have did uh, in the scripting style, the same thing we will be doing going creating another way Python file which should be inside the same folder. So what we did, we have actually imported all this, like all the uh, constants like starting positions, move and up, down, left, right. So it's like we for the snake object, all the methods, all the functions what we define, we will be uh, coming like we will be defining it inside the snake class, and all the functions we will be converting it in methods. So similarly, just what we are did class snake, and this is the constructor method what we are initializing. So here we define segments variable. So if you see, uh, so segments variable like self dot segments, and we have defined head variable. So in the constructor method, what we are calling, we are calling the method snake create snake inside the constructor method only. So every time a snake class is like snake class object is made, by default this constructor method will be called by default, and it will call this method by default. So what this method will do, nothing. The same thing what we did. So for position in the position table, so this is so what we have did for position in the starting positions. The same thing we are just keeping inside create snake method, so that it will create automatically all the turtle objects at these positions. And again the same move method what we are defined in this, so we are again keeping the same move method inside this. So the main thing is like if you see the self keyword should be there for all the variables. So it's like, so when we are writing the self dot segments, so the self dot, so when we are accessing uh, the class like instance variables inside the class, so we will be represented with self dot segment, self dot segment number, so self dot segments dot append. Again we will be representing with self dot head dot forward. So the minor modifications will be mainly this how we are calling the like instance variables inside the class. So similarly again it's like here we are not given any self dot, like if the same thing like if heading not equal to done if heading. Similarly it's like the self heading, all the methods we are defining inside the class, so that any object created, so you can use multiple ways. So in the main file what we did, we the screen is fine. So here from the snake uh, a module you can say maybe the Python file what we defined, so it is like it has become like a snake, and we are importing snake class. From the snake class we are creating the snake method, sorry, snake object. We are importing snake class, and we have created a snake object, and the same thing like all these are the same, there is nothing difference. So here only we are calling with the object like snake dot move method we are calling, But in general scripting style, what we did, we just called function move. But here what we are doing, we are just calling snake.move method, and here also we are calling snake.up methods. So we haven't given the snake dot right before on key. We are just called all the functions what we defined here, like on key, up, down. But here what we are doing, because we have created, we need to access the methods what we created for inside the snake class. We are giving the snake dot up, snake dot down, snake dot left, snake dot right. So we are accessing with this object of the snake class. I'm getting the methods. So I'm saying we get the up method. So generally the method is nothing but the function we are defining inside a class. So with the help of this object, we are saying to the interpreter or Python compiler, we should get this method from the snake class, and when user types, we invoke that method. So nothing differs, but the way of style we code will be differ. So it's like this is general way of so both will work in the same way. There won't be any difference, but it is better to code in object oriented, so that if any we can use this for example, if you want to create a two snake objects at the same time in the same uh, time, the same I meant to say different positions or different things, we can use the same class, snake class, and we can modify instead of rewriting again, just we can create another snake object, and uh, we can use. So generally we don't create another snake object here, but if you want to do some multiprocessing programming, not in this game, but if you want to do a multiprocessing programming, so that you need to create multiple objects at once and call different methods. At that time, this object-oriented programming will be very helpful. I think that's it for today. Yeah, tomorrow we will see about all the remaining, and we will close this snake game.